All right. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about death and Paul's sentence in Philippians 1:21, to live is Christ, to die is gain. What does it mean to live is Christ? What does that mean that my life now is for Jesus? I think we can also consider Galatians 2:20, which says, I have been crucified with Christ and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life that I now live in this body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me. And so if we're going to have a perspective like Paul, that to live is Christ, what that means is as long as I'm drawing breath, as long as I am up and moving around and I have blood pumping through my veins, as long as I'm here and not with him, which is gain, right? Being with him is gain. As long as I'm here, my aim is to serve him. I live for the glory of God. And he has full reign of my life. He can use my life for his glory however he wants. And I think that we kind of we miss out on that a little bit. We kind of don't understand that our lives are for his pleasure. And we kind of think that our lives are for our pleasure or what we can get out of it. We think about our lives being for our legacy. There's a psalm, I want to say Psalm 49, but don't hold me to that. And in Psalm 49, again, don't hold me to that. It talks about the people who are amassing wealth for themselves and they're buying land for themselves and they're naming their land after themselves. And he says, even this doesn't cause them to endure. You go and you buy a big piece of land, you put your family's name on it, you pass it down to your kid, it gets passed down to that kid. Eventually, some kid sells it, it gets a new name slapped on the doorpost, a new name painted on the mailbox, and you're forgotten, right? And so what we tend to do is we tend to think about the legacy I want to leave behind. And even with few exceptions, even if you're a really great preacher, you're not going to be remembered very long. I would argue that 100 years after I'm dead, no one will know who I am. I don't know who my great-grandfather was. So the likelihood that 100 years after I'm dead, my great-grandkids know who I am, probably zero. Those videos that we've done, Simpler Bible, all these videos that you're watching now will be so far buried down on YouTube or whatever the thing is then, because YouTube will be it'll all be digitally just shot into your brain or something. And so that'll be gone. I won't exist. The books that I've written have fallen out of publication, so you can't even get them anymore, which is probably for the best because I wrote them when I was young and stupid. And so what am I doing, right? What am I doing? I can't be chasing my legacy. I can't be doing that. I can't be chasing my legacy. I'll tell you what I can do. I can live for Christ. Whether I have 50 years, I've been given 50 years on this earth so far, whether I'm given another 50 or whether my life is over by the end of 2025, I can live for Christ. And if I live for Christ and I show other people what it looks like to live for Christ, I teach my kids to live for Christ, then though my great-grandkids won't know me, they'll know Jesus. They'll know Christ. And I want you to think for a moment about how much of what we do isn't Christ-centered. Now, I get it. I had to pay my taxes a few weeks ago. I miscalculated this year my estimates and owed $670 or something, which still really hurt. That felt painful to me. But you pay taxes, right? I'm taking my car this afternoon to get it tuned up. You do that. You take care of the car. You replace the air filter in your air conditioner so that it doesn't mess it up. You drain your hot water heater, although I didn't know that you were supposed to do that. Now I do. So you drain your hot water heater to make sure it's functioning well and clean it out. You change the sheets on the bed from time to time, and you wash your clothes so that the boys have underwear tomorrow. There are things we do, and they go, Ryan, life is just tedious. It's just the same thing. No, look, every single thing that I do is shaped. Even I pay taxes because that's the system I'm in. But I'm a human. I'm a Christian first, though. I'm a Christian who lives in the house that I live in, who has the family that I have, who has the responsibilities that I have. But everything I desire, everything that I am pushing for, everything is built on a desire for Jesus. And you're right. You're going to pay taxes, and you're not going to sit there and think, how am I honoring Jesus in this? But if you're the kind of person who says, my life belongs to Christ, then you live your life with joy, even in those really cruddy moments where you're paying the government extra money that you didn't want to pay, right? It's we live with the joy. We live with this hope that My life, we desist from our sins. We quit seeking our own pleasures. It's so interesting that people don't seem to realize that the pleasures that distract us from Christ, and that can be TV, it can be sports, it can be just busyness, it can be whatever, that the pleasures that distract us from our walk with Christ will eventually become things that own us. They'll own our lives. And we think, oh, it's just a passing thing. It's just a pleasure. It's just, no. My life belongs to Jesus. I only have so many breaths that these lungs will draw in. I only have so many beats that this heart will pump blood through this body. My life belongs to Christ. When I put my faith in Jesus, I didn't just say, thank you, sir, for forgiving me. Thank you for heaven. At that moment, my life ceased to be my own and it became his. And so guys like Colin, who stand behind the camera and make these videos possible and make videos for missionaries around the world and do these things and make Simpler Bible for you, and Pierce, who puts all this online and distributes it to all you people and makes sure that people can find out what we're doing at the church. Like, there is an aim in it. There's an aim in it. There's an aim to say, I have this life. Here are the skill sets that I have. Here are the people in my circle. And for the best of my ability, I am going to serve God with everything I have here. Paul's case in Philippians 1, he says, man, if I get to keep on living, I'm going to keep proclaiming to you Jesus. But we're not all preachers. I am. For as long as I have breath, I will preach and teach and proclaim the truth of Christ. And if my voice is ripped from me, I'll type it out. I'll write it out. I'll find another way to do it. I'll learn sign language and get an interpreter. We'll figure it out, right? Because I've got to teach. But you're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to plant your feet on the ground and you're going to go about your day. And you can do it from the perspective of today belongs to Jesus, or you can do it from the perspective that today's about you. But none of this has been about you. All of it has been about Christ. The first lesson in this series was about Christ. The next one was the Bible. The Bible's not about us, it's about Christ. The next one was death. Our death isn't about us, it's about Christ, gaining Jesus. The next one was heaven. Heaven's not about us, it's about Christ. Today, life, this life that I live, God willing, I will have another 45 years here and I'll get to see my kids grow up and I'll get to continue teaching in some form or fashion, and my wife and I will get to enjoy many more years together. But whatever happens for the rest of today and then tomorrow and then for as many days as I draw breath and put my feet on the ground, my days belong to the Lord now. It's what the psalmist says. I think in Psalm 90, he says, teach us to number our days, right? Teach us to number our days so that we won't waste them. So many of us are like, oh, I'll take care of that tomorrow. Oh, I'll be serious about God tomorrow. Oh, I'll spend more time with Jesus tomorrow. Oh, no. Today, James tells us this way in James chapter 4, maybe James 5. He says our life is a vapor. He goes, don't say I'm going to move to this town and do business here for a year and then do this other thing. He goes, our life is a vapor. It's gone. Peter says that we are like the grass and the flowers of the field that wither away to nothing. Our life is a moment. It's just a moment, a fleeting breath blown away in the wind. Live it for Jesus. Today, live it for Jesus. However much day you have left of today, live it for Jesus. And when you wake up tomorrow, live it for Christ. That's the only perspective we can have of this life. And whatever comes next, we'll do that for Jesus too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. One more video on this perspective series.